Welcome back to Cruising Sanctuary and Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Cruising X along with Arya Stormborn. And Lord Fireaxe.
I continue to be your tour guide to the end of the world.
Yep. Last episode, we have stumbled upon the star where, basically, Ultima laid the Ultima weapon. No, not Ultima. The Omega weapon laid waste to the dragons. So this is basically Midgard Zormer's home. Or, well, it's a theory anyway. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to it with the level 89 quest, A Test of Will. They only want to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed. A pain I understand, and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we've learned. Come. Let's ride. Or wait. We don't need to ride. No, we got no time. We port, we call it a day. It's only 50, or 100, or whatever. You know what, I'm going to keep the chat log open only just in case, but I switched it to event. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Chris. Estinien. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity, but it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be so quick to presume that what we see outside this space is as appears. Which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Loperits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteon told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key. But I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. So what you're saying is, we've no way forward. At present, if it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Meteons, but the dragons that hold us here. They tire of conflict, and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they have chosen no path at all. Meaning there is no way for the dragons, or anyone here on this island, to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that is the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Meteon meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions.
'Twas Ultima Thule's architect, Meteon herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them, as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course of others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me naught against his calcifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better.
Well, let's try it.
Then I shall guide thee. I'll End, they call him, in the dragon tongue. Thou wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water.
Well, what have we to lose? Let's get going. Oh boy. I have a feeling we're gonna have a problem with Estinien. There he is.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
Oh. Here we go.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Our pride is crushed, and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled, and the heavens offer no comfort. There is nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the Expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin on another star. And yet, Upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home?
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It mattereth not whether we fly. Ever shall a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will our retribution's wheel turn. And so, on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity.
Damn.
After everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinien!
Stay back.
We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. Dignity tarnished. Crimson stained. Our misery. Our shame. Too much to bear. Release us from war. From life.
I see. This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
Oh shit.
No! Not Estinien too!
There's a wind. He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place. Like Thancred did.
Yep.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
Let's continue.
Now the music is starting to develop.
Yep.
I take it it's going to continue to progress.
Yes.
Look there! The wind! This is Estinien's doing. I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. Let's do it. Whoa! Hell! Awesome.
That's one hell of a jump.
A powerful gale has delivered you to another island. The other scions should arrive before long. I will say the scenery is very nice.
Yes, this is my favorite of the new zones.
Of course it is. He did it. He found a way forward for us. The dragons remain trapped within a prison of their own making, lamenting the horrors of war. Yet Estinien knew them better than most. He was a man of honor and a dear friend, willing to fight to the very end for what he believed was right. And he's still fighting Alphino, just like Thancred. Their sacrifices are why we can survive here, why we still have a chance to stop her. Even in spirit, they're unwilling to give in to despair, and we mustn't either. Alice is right. We must press on, for their sake. Indeed we do. Alright. That quest didn't take too long, did it?
No, it didn't.
Alright, we'll continue. As Y'shtola and Alice said, we must continue. Notice the change in our surroundings. Perhaps this is the memory of an altogether different world. 'Twould be prudent to learn more of it then. Tread carefully, lest we lose our footing in the sand. Let's go. Interesting. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, it would appear as ordinary stone. A curious script hath been etched from them. Alas, it is not in a language with which I am familiar. I cannot say I recognize it either. Nor I. The dragons, from what I recall, preserve their knowledge in song and eschew the written word entirely. So we may assume this is the work of another race, one we have yet to encounter. Meteon claimed the dragon's world suffered a slow death, seeking the release of oblivion. What life we find here, like as not, doth wend its way towards a similar end. Alice? What do you suppose is over there? I'm not sure. It's hard to make out at this distance, but its surface seems to bear the same crystals as this monument. Meaning there's a chance we may find whoever built them both. We should go and have a look. Come on. Yeah, I'm always getting... Huh? here's some 1.0 music I haven't heard lately. Hail, travelers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. Oh, hello there. Is this your home? Indeed it is. Forgive me. I had forgotten. An exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. Whoa, what the frick? When the vibration of vocal folds was still required to convey our thoughts and intention, Ea, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people. Although it is not entirely applicable given our present state, you are welcome to use this appellation. As for nomenclature, to address my individual person, I believe it would be pronounced Kopkuj. Yes, Kopkuj of the Ea. We have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we are having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis, as this space is suffused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. I gather your response to my presence is positive, then. That is well, for there is something I wish to ask of you. Like yourselves, we Ea are ether-based life forms. Therefore, it may be surmised that your bodies are of comparable biological composition to those we once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the five senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, I have prepared 198,712,180,827. That's rather a lot, isn't it? My apologies. I have omitted a great many details necessary to understand the nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered a need for the flesh, and have endeavored to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to recreate, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may compromise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to regain corporeal forms? Why, to bring an end to our existence, of course. Though need is perhaps too strong a word. It would be simple matter to unmake ourselves through the use of etheric exsanguinators, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only within bodies of the flesh. We should very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you into our home. Yes, the abode of the Ea, where we traditionalists prepare for our demise. I presume your consent to answer questions is indicative of a tacit approval of our plans, in which case, your cooperation is greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to be mindful of the Ea wandering the desert. Their desire for bodies of the flesh could be described as
overzealous. Now, if you would follow me. This is going rather smoothly. Not that I'm complaining, mind. Even so, we mustn't forget their aim is oblivion, much like the dragons. Though I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they have created. At any rate, we will find no answers dallying here. Let us be on our way.
Well, let's go. It's a good thing we don't need to level ourselves anymore on this, right?
Yeah.
Welcome to our abode. Most of our compeers, you will find, remain idle in their domiciles, though your quizzical expressions indicate my phrasing is unclear. I speak, of course, of the violent crystalline constructs hanging from the stone structures here. There. You say they remain idle, but what of your work to regain corporeal bodies? An astute question. And understandable, given your finite nature. We have no desire to pursue our research, for it is no longer necessary. If, in our idleness, we are struck by sudden inspiration, we rise to pursue said inspiration to its conclusion. That is why I was present for your arrival, and why I continue to engage with you still. But while the others are not currently in a motile state, rest assured they would not object were you to disturb their respite. You need only cast your thoughts towards one of their crystalline domiciles to communicate.
Alright. Whoops, I wanted to use sprint and I used hollowed ground for some contrived reason.
Because you wanted to hollow the ground.
You cast your thoughts toward the crystalline domicile, but there is no response. Okay. First we'll attune to this aetheryte so I can come back on Wednesday.
Oh.
Knock, knock, bitches.
You wish to speak? Very well. Pray, a moment if you would. Why we seek our end, you ask? If you wish to know, I will tell you. Just a moment. I must remember. What form did I take when last I emerged?
Alright, how about this one? The strange moaning comes and goes, but soon fades in the silence. Oh, what the frick?
What?
I ended up landing in the water. And I can swim in here. Cool. Alright. Did your inquiries yield satisfactory responses? I see. If they fail to answer, then it is likely because their minds have unraveled due to prolonged idleness. They are not but concentrated ether now. Worry not. There are no others who have need of those lodgings, and they will not prove a hindrance to remain as they are. But more importantly, you said some few did answer your request for an audience, yes? I imagine they will be with us ere long. Well, where are we right now? About 8 quests now?
Cool. Let's see, you just finished roads paved, I think is the name of the last quest you did.
Flesh Abandoned.
Flesh Abandoned is next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 quests, yes.
8 quests that will be done the next time we do a live stream, because it is getting late, and as much as I would love to stay up and finish this to the end, sad to say, we have responsibilities. Yep.
Okay.
That's the lot of it. Oh, and I need to find a certain envelope that I'm missing. For the bed. Because I can't remember my login info.
That's not good.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned for just a little bit longer. And if you're watching on YouTube, here are all the links provided to get to where you need to go. We will see you in the next episode.